So we've just done the workshop on how to make your website better from a visual point of view. We've now got Ewan here to help us kind of figure out how it's measured and making sure that what changes that you have made are going to actually work and how we make them better. Ewan, welcome.
Thanks.
Please tell us who you are and what you do.
My name's Ewan. I'm the digital strategist here at Northern Media. So I've got experience in sort of, I guess you could call it like the whole breadth of getting inquiries, from getting the traffic to the website to then working on your website to better convert the traffic into leads.
So from my point of view, I'm a graphic designer, so I design it to look good and function well. But from your point of view, what happens to the traffic that we're actually paying for?
Yeah, so if the design of the website isn't right, or if there are barriers to conversion, then that traffic that we're paying for will do nothing, essentially. It'll just come to the website, and if we're not delivering the information that the user wants to see, they'll leave the website. If we are delivering information they want to see, but it's hard to inquire, then the traffic will simply not inquire. Either way, we're wasting spend on traffic that's not going to convert. That's obviously not great from a Google Ads perspective because we're wasting budget, and Google will keep spending your money regardless. But then from an SEO perspective, it could negatively affect your rankings. If a user comes to your website, doesn't engage with it, doesn't inquire, Google can read that information and it will stop associating your website with the search term that the user carried out. So it can be a bit of a double hit if you're running both campaigns, in that it can negatively affect your rankings and waste your PPC budget.
My next question, you can be brutal,
Okay.
but what is the one design mistake that you often see that kills conversion?
It's going to be really simple, I think, in that it's just a lack of call to actions. You spend a lot of time on the design of the website, on the content, but if you're not steering users toward actually carrying out an action, then they won't. I've noticed across the entire time I've been doing this is that if there are any barriers to entry, people will simply not get in touch, and that includes not steering people to the right part of the website to inquire. As a knock-on off that as well, putting the right way to inquire in place. If you, as a website manager, want more phone calls, make sure your phone number is easily accessible. On the flip side, some people prefer form inquiries because of the greater level of information that's available through a form submission. Make sure that your form's easy to find and easy to fill out. It's really, really simple, but it so often gets overlooked.
So have you ever seen great ads fail because of their actual landing page? When someone gets there, it's a bit of a letdown.
Yeah, all the time. We've got a client at the moment who, I don't want to toot my own horn, running a perfectly good Google Ads campaign. Lots of engagement, lots of traffic, lots of impressions, but I think they've got a 0.28% conversion rate.
And is that good?
That's terrible. 0.28% is really, really low. We tend to strive, it varies from industry to industry, for about a 2% conversion rate. So for every 100 users comes to your website, 2 of them should inquire. 0.28% is obviously way below that. The website is functional in that there's nothing necessarily stopping you buying the product or inquiring, but the landing page itself, in my opinion, has just got way too much going on. Anytime you add a level of complexity or confusion or barriers, people will drop off, and I think that is what's going on with this website. Simplify wherever possible, basically.
I'm going to add another question in there. From a SEO and PPC point of view, is there a limit to how much information needs to be on? And is there a difference between SEO and PPC as to how much information needs to be on that page?
No, I don't necessarily think there is a limit to the amount of information that can be on a page. I think what matters is how that information is presented. A wall of text is not an attractive thing for a person, a user, to be presented with. So having loads of information there is good and can be necessary, especially if you work in a complicated industry. Just make sure it's presented in an easy to digest, easy to access way. And also make sure the messaging is right. I see a lot of people talk about, let's say they talk about the product really, really well, but they don't talk about the advantages of that product brings. Remember, all marketing is supposed to be aspirational in a way, so you're not selling a product, you're selling a solution. Always keep that in mind in the information that you're putting over.
So when someone clicks on one of your amazing ads, how do we know that it's actually working?
The most base level metric would be the number of inquiries you get in. You want it to be as linear as you turn ads on, inquiries go up. But there are a bunch of different metrics in between that. There's a bunch of different platforms you can use. Google Analytics 4 being the biggest one. There's a bunch of metrics on there, such as engagement time. So how long people are spending on your website. You can track people's sessions. So are they engaging with the page? Are they clicking deeper into the website? Or are they just leaving it? Google Ads also gives you a little bit of information. But the most important one, and the one that really most people use Google Ads for, is have the inquiries gone up? With adequate tracking in place, you can associate it directly with Google Ads or whatever channel you're going after. But that's the base level one and should always be the one we're falling back on, really.
So what does a page that's working well look like in the data?
That's a tough one to answer, and I don't think there's any clear answer for it. I think it's massively case-by-case dependent. You could just say that if people are landing on the page and are converting, so clicking the phone number, clicking the email, filling in the form, then that page is working well. But that's only if that page is set up in that way. Has it got phone numbers on it, emails? Has it even got a contact form on it? If it doesn't have a contact form on it, then it could be working well because people are going from that page to the contact page where the form is. But it could also be that people are starting on that page and then going further into the website, which could be the intention of the page. It could be a sort of steering page, a directional page. I'm not sure what the right term for it is. And then that could be the objective of the campaign as well. You know, are we sending people to a landing page to then look further into the website? If so, then engagement rate is the metric we want to look for, not just straight out inquiries. So I think it's massively dependent on the objective of the campaign that you're running and also what is the purpose of the page. Not every page on a website is made to convert users. Like I say, some are there just to offer direction, offer information.
So if the people watching this video has to check one thing on their website, what would you say it needs to be?
I'd say barriers to entry. You'd be surprised at how often there are things in the way that stop people inquiring. Make sure your emails are clickable, make sure your phone number's clickable, make sure your contact form is usable and simple and not overly long. If possible, and I know it's really hard to do and it's why our profession exists, but view it from a third person perspective. Ask your grandma to try and fill out the contact form and see what happens, and you'd be surprised at the things that pop up that may stop someone inquiring. So I would just say lower the barrier to entry at every possible step that you can.
Nice. Thank you so much for your time.